Hey everyone, Waseem here from the channel Handsome Smells. Thank you for joining me in another video. Today I'll be doing a first impressions of a fragrance from the house of Rochas, and this one is called Femme. So it's known as like Femme from Rochas. This one was released way back in 1944. It was actually created by a perfumer called Edmund. I don't want to get the name wrong, so let me just read it off my screen here. So the name is Edmund Rochas. I believe that's how it's pronounced, and he's a very acclaimed perfumer. He was the one that created the really acclaimed fragrance from the house of Christian Dior called Eau Sauvage. Not Sauvage, the new one from the 60s, Eau Sauvage. But he created this one during the war, so the World War II in Paris in 1943, and it was released by Rochas in 1944. So this is an extremely old fragrance. It's considered a floral chypre fragrance, and chypre is basically a French word meaning cypress. And chypre fragrances, I believe it started by the first ever fragrance from Coty, or fragrance from Coty called chypre, which was meant to smell like cypress. And chypre fragrances are just classified with the fact that they start off with a bergamot and dry down with an oak moss. So that's classified as a chypre. But yeah, it's super fascinating that this was created by Edmund Rochas in 1943 during World War II and released by Rochas in 1944. Many people consider this to be one of the best ever chypre fragrances. I'm really getting into my old school fragrances, be that male marketed fragrances or even female marketed fragrances. So I'm quite keen to try other female fragrances such as Shalimar. There's some few others from Chanel, some others from Guerlain as well. I believe it's pronounced Metsiko, something like that. My pronunciation is horrible, but very interested to try out so many classics. But today I'm going to give a first impressions of Femme by Rochas. And one of my favourite people in the community, Vitor, he mentioned I should get my nose on this one. He mentioned I should try a lot of the female fragrances, the classics, better than some of the men's, and Vita told me that this is probably the best ever chypre fragrance, so I had to get my nose on this one. I believe this is a vintage bottle, certainly not a bottle that you can get anymore because of the gold cap. I believe the newer formulations have the black plastic cap. This one is a gold plastic cap and it looks like this. I picked this up on eBay for the same price as a new fragrance, so I bidded quite well and nobody else sort of bidded for it. A few others did, but I sort of won it, so I was quite happy. This is a 50ml bottle that I picked up for around £20, super cool. So yeah, let's give this a first impressions. Quite interested to see how this one is. Smelling from the cap, it smells wonderful. But let's give this a first impressions. So it's sprayed first time, which is no surprise as this is a used bottle that I picked up on eBay. Wow, this is super strong. It comes across very spicy and very fruity. This is a scent which, even though it's for women, it does come across feminine, but it doesn't come across like a very mass appealing sort of scent. This comes across to be quite pungent and quite daring. There's a lot of spice in this one, deep warm spiciness and a backbone of juiciness, and maybe that juiciness is some sort of fruit. I'm sort of getting like a cherry vibe, loads of cherry juiciness but a lot of warm spices. And wow, this is powerful stuff. It doesn't come across gentle in any way. Many female fragrances that I've tried, like Chanel's No. 5 or Light Blue from Dolce & Gabbana, give off like a woman wearing a nice white dress, smelling very nice and classy and elegant. Even Gabasha, a woman in a white dress, that's the sort of vibe it gives off. This one, oh, wow, it gives off a very powerful, strong, daring sort of woman. That sort of vibe. It gives off the smell of fire to me. It's very warm. So let's see what the note breakdown of Rochas Femme is. So at the top we're going to get plum, peach, cinnamon, apricot, Brazilian rosewood, bergamot and lemon. The heart of the fragrance is clove, carnation, ylang ylang, rose, rosemary, iris and jasmine. And the base of the fragrance is oak moss, leather, benzoin, amber, patchouli, musk and vanilla. So bergamot at the top and base note of oak moss is why they consider this to be a chypre. And there's some fruity notes in the opening, such as the plum, peach and the apricot, which is why they consider it a fruity chypre. But for me, the opening, wow, it's super strong, very warm, spicy. I believe that's coming from the cinnamon and the cloves especially. I did sort of feel like this smelled a little bit like the cloves aspects of this. It smelled a little bit like the fragrance I've tried recently, which is called Taboo from the House of Dana. That fragrance was released in the 30s, this in the 40s. So looking at the note breakdown, the most prominent notes that I'm getting on my skin is definitely cloves and the cinnamon, and a little bit of juiciness, which I thought was like a cherry, but it may be the other fruity notes, but the warmth of those spices is giving off like a red sort of nuance, picture in my head. Wow, this is powerful, very, very daring. I can't imagine many women wearing this very eagerly to work or anything. This is definitely a night out, daring type of scent. On first impressions, I am impressed. I can't wait to wear this one and see what it's like. But this is a fragrance for a woman that is extremely, wants to give off a very powerful sort of smell. Even though I keep saying woman, because of the name Femme, it really throws me off. But I will certainly wear this myself. And I consider myself to be quite a masculine man. But anyways, that was my first impressions of Femme from the House of Rochas. I hope you've enjoyed this first impressions. If you have, please do leave me a like and a comment below. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you do. Until next time, my friends, see you later.